Okay, thanks for joining everyone. Here we are back at it again. Everybody take a good look at my eye. Torn retina. Had to have some emergency surgery done on it. And so we're still back. We're still back. It's been a long road. And to give you a little backdrop, in the last 3.5 years, this is my 7th operation under the knife. 7 operations. And not to bore you, 3.5 years ago, I had massive congestive, whatever, heart failure. And there's a reason why the only reason I'm talking about this is to make a point, a scriptural, biblical point. 3.5 years ago, I had a couple heart attacks, and the second time on the table, I died. So, I had a DNR, do not resuscitate. They brought me back anyway, said it was their prerogative in the state of Texas. So, here I am. After that, I was about a week after I finally got out of there, after 2.5 months, being in the hospital and or rehabilitation, they said, if you don't go down and get this other one more operation to take the water off of your heart, you're going to die. I was told that by a school circle of professionals, everybody from a cardi to a chief nurse at the hospital there, and a few other specialists. Still here. So it's been a long road. It's so after that, a couple hernias, a couple cataract surgeries, and a few other ones I forget offhand. A couple other ones too, and this most recent one, which was the retina tear. So the reason I brought all that up is because there's got to be a lot of people out there, or at least some, maybe not a lot, because the more you know about the Word, the more you're going to put your faith, your hope, your trust, your confidence into the Word. And I was in Hebrews chapter 2, verse 15. And by the way, this is kind of on the heels of what we did the other day, which is 1 John 4, 15 to 18, if I recall. So this goes out, this is kind of like an addendum, if you will, an ad hoc addendum to the last video that we did. And if we go over to Hebrews chapter 2, verse 15, it's got some really good verbiage about what Paul is doing. He's writing a love letter of praise in the first part of the letter to the Hebrews. And we're going to jump in here in about 2 seconds to Hebrews chapter 2, verse 15. And it addresses the other additional aspect of fear. Let's go right to it. As a lead-in, we'll talk a little bit about chapter 14, the preceding verse, For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil. And now we get to the big salient point that Paul is making. Hebrews again, chapter 2, and verse 15, and it says, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. And that is pivotal, because we use the word encourage a lot. You hear that word a lot. You know, a lot of channels, they talk about encouragement, and I want to encourage you. You know, it's going to be, you know, your special escape to paradise. We're not going to encourage you with all kind of references or inferences or innuendos or anything like that about a secret rapture that will take you off to paradise. No, we're going to be talking about, right now at least, about real life things that impact your life when you don't think anything of it. And it hits you. It blindsides a person. And there's a lot of people out there that they're under a false impression about all of these things because they want to escape them. They're looking for the escape route mechanism that they have to contrive out of the scriptures. And by the way, we need some young folks out there to really step it up and get this message out there. It's called the remnant message. A remnant of who? A remnant of Israel, where Israel was reborn, born again Israel, taken from the old physicality, the old physical construct, and taken at the cross, and was transferred over, having passed over, having translated over to the new construct, which is now spiritual. We are what you call spiritual Jews. We don't pertain to to all the things that the Hebrew rooters pertain to when it comes to the law and the Judaizers or any of that. We're not legalists. Christ is our Sabbath. We rest in that alone. Christ is our Sabbath. But that whole dynamic is what we need to get into. Now, what this does, we'll give you a couple parting shots here. What this does is it gives a lot of credence to the fact that, yeah, we need to be encouraged. We need to be propelled spiritually so that we're in the right frame of mind. Because it talks, Paul was just a master theologian to begin with, and he outlines, it's just a beautiful mosaic painting, if you will, spiritual sketch or painting of what the Lord did and who the Lord is in chapter 1 of Hebrews and all the way in chapter 2 up to 2:15. That's why at 2:15, at that particular citation, we'll read it again, and delivered them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. So this doesn't speak about the knee-jerk reactions that most people have about soon, that they're going to be raptured. No, this tells you how to deal with life in the here and now. I can tell you, I'll leave you with this thought, I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, when you have 2 heart attacks, and the second one you died, and they brought you back, you had a DNR, do not resuscitate, and they paddled you back, and then only to finally get out of that place. It was rough. Not going to go into it. It was rough. And then have 5 professionals. I was sitting down. I had a walker. I had all that stuff. I had a nice little wheelchair, and you could sit down in it and all that sort of thing. And they're standing around me in a school circle. And they say, if you don't have this operation right now to take the water off of your heart, you're going to die. Just imagine being in that kind of a conclusion, a footnote actually to your life. And that is why when I read this tonight, for some reason I just knew to go to Hebrews and start from the beginning. And there it was. And deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. So the question is this. Who do you place your faith, your hope, your trust, your confidence in? Is it in Jesus Christ? Because if it is, then you don't have to be in bondage. You don't. See, that's taking everything that you have and it's keeping it intact. But at the same time, there's also it's been factored in your sense of peace and your sense of joy that you can partake in. Knowing that you're part of that family, knowing that you're part of that plan, and knowing that you're part of that inheritance, which is important. It's all important. So that you too can have the peace of mind, and you too can go favorably whenever that occurs. Why I'm still here, I have no idea. Maybe if we can, final point. The word says that faith without works is dead. So go out there and try to influence some people. Go out there and try to build them up. That's your works right there. You can have all the faith in the world, but when you go out there with the intention that the fields are ripe for harvest, go out there and share the Lord. You know that if the ugly jarhead gets out there and starts sharing his faith, you can share your faith as well. I mean, people, I'll walk around here lately and they'll say, well, who hit you? And they say, well, I'd hate to see what you did to the other guy. No, nope. And that's another thing. One more thing. Let me tell you something. When your prominent eye goes batty, and you can't see out of it, okay, serious business. Get with your optometrist, and they will get with a retina specialist / surgeon ASAP, okay? That's what you need to do, because you will question why things are going that route. But it happens to everybody. This is how to get prepared, not to escape life, but to prepare for these contingencies. in these spiritual challenges, these spiritual roadblocks, these spiritual hurdles, if you want to call them. That's what we're doing. We're not looking to escape. No, we're looking for the peace. We're looking for the joy. We're looking to do some good works out there. Put a smile on somebody's face. Make them happy that they met you because you've got something to give them. You've got the Word, capital W. The Word that died, buried, resurrected the third day, sits at the right hand of the Father, Jesus Christ. That should be all that you're living for right now. It's all I'm living for myself. And we're not going to make any doubt in anybody's mind about it, because it's that light that you're sharing with other people. And you should always be looking for other people that want to talk to you, because they can see the light in you, yourself. I love you guys. Stay in the fight. We'll talk soon.